Alright, we all know the drama that's been surrounding this film Ghostbusters since it was first announced, since the first trailer came out. We all know this. But the film is out now. It's time to put all those preconceived notions out of the window. It's time to go into the film with an open mind and judge it on our own. And now the biggest question that everyone's going to be asking, how is this film? Ghostbusters. So Ghostbusters is a reboot of the original Ghostbusters film that came out in 1984. That's a very beloved film. Of course, like how I said, we all know the hate's been surrounding this film. And for me at least, I was not excited for this film. Not because there was women in the film, but because the trailers, it just didn't look good. It didn't look funny. It just didn't look like a great movie. But now that I've seen the movie, how is it? I will say this. Ghostbusters is not a bad film. But that does not mean that I loved it. Now let's get into the positive stuff first. First off, the cast, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, Melissa McCarthy, and Leslie Jones, they all work great together. The chemistry, especially between Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, is really great. Those two work well off each other. And for me at least, Kate McKinnon was really good in the film. I'll get into some of the issues that I had with some of her characters later on. For the most part, she was really funny, and because she's one of the best parts in SNL right now. Yeah, even Leslie Jones, she had a really funny moments. All of them got a chance to have their funny moments, and they were all really good. They were acted well in this film. And with Chris Hemsworth, some of the issues that I have with Kate McKinnon's character are similar to Chris Hemsworth's character, but there were times where Chris Hemsworth was funny in the film. One of the things that Paul Feig was able to do in this film was to be able to build to the jokes well. They actually give time for the characters to interact with each other and then have some jokes and just not cut, rapid cut to every joke. So that was good on his part. And the visual effects, while some of them are not that great, for the most part, they're really colorful and really cool to look at. There was a nice little nod to Harold Ramis, who was in the original Ghostbusters film, who sadly passed away. There was a nice nod to, giving a tribute to him. And I was like, okay, I actually like that. Now, for the negatives, I think the biggest issue that this film faces is that it's funny at times, but there are a lot of times when it's not, and the jokes, they're really forced. The thing is that the first half of the film is going really good. I was like, okay, there were some things here and there. I was like, that could have been fixed. And when it comes to the first ghost busting, that was a really fun scene. But as the second half comes in, you could tell the film loses a lot of steam, and there's a lot of jokes that don't work, a lot of jokes that are forced. And the cameos from the original Ghostbusters cast, to me at least, most of them felt forced. Because there were a lot of times when they came up, it's like, okay, it was cool seeing them, but then it's like, okay, if you really think about it, that was totally unnecessary. The film has a very weak villain. When you find out who the villain is, like, oh my gosh, really? And you start to think about, okay, how is he able to do this? Where do he get this equipment from? And like, okay, in the end, that's all he does, I guess. And the thing with Chris Hemsworth and Kate McKinnon's character is that both of them feel very over the top in a lot of times throughout the film. And the film, you could argue, is kind of over the top, but there comes to a point where both of them, their characters are really over the top. It's like, okay, you can calm down. You have these three characters who are just normal, and her, she kind of feels out of place. And sometimes too, Chris Hemsworth, he kind of feels out of place at times too. And just a side note, the new Ghostbusters theme that they had in the film, yeah, it wasn't good. And it's a very simple film. There's not really that much to it. And you really think about it, it's like, okay, how was this able to happen? How was this character able to do this? Did Ghostbusters deserve all the hate before it came out? No. And we know some of the reasons why some people were hated on it was dumb, but a lot of people had good reasons because this film just didn't look good from the trailers. And here's the thing I'll say. Whoever was in charge of the marketing department for Ghostbusters, you guys need to fire them because they did a terrible job. The film is not the disaster that we thought it was going to be. It's not a bad film. It's not a great film. It's just decent. So I'm going to give Ghostbusters a solid C. I will say this, go watch the film to see on your own, to have your own judgment. So guys, that's my review for Ghostbusters. What did you guys think of the film? Did you guys like it or you guys didn't like it? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day.